Good evening. We are welcome to Bossed Up Academy, where we discuss everything business and helping people get out of business into business. Stay tuned. Welcome to Boss Up Academy. Remember to like and share our videos. And we give you all the stimulus updates because there are still stimulus things going on, as well as real estate updates and all things business. Well, tonight we're talking about DMX and his fiance. A lot of people are talking about this couple and how she is not going to be entitled to probably, hey, Kalonda, she's probably not going to be entitled to one of his record-breaking record sales of his career, because usually when people are deceased, their record sales go through the roof, and she will not be entitled to any royalties. Well, and a lot of people saying, well, that's what she get for not being married. Well, because we talk about things that are business, and if you are in a relationship, a lot of relationships now are business relationships. So if you don't have your business paperwork in order, you could be married and still not be able to reap full benefits of someone's estate. I'm not an advocate. I'm not saying do not get married, that should not be an option. I'm not overriding any biblical principles in this video. I do want to be clear about that I'm not here to override anybody's religious background or anything like that. But I am here to tell you about all things business and to tell you there is more than one way to skin a cat. People don't get married for various reasons, and that's their own personal choice. But if you are in a situation where you are not married to your significant other, there are still ways to protect yourself after their death. So that's the point that I wanted to make, that how you can still get benefits. No, you may not get all of the benefits of a wife, but there are a lot of benefits that you can entitle yourself to. And if she had taken these steps, she would be entitled to his record-breaking sales right now. So I want to start off by some of the benefits that you can get now that people did not get prior to now, with a lot of LGBT communities and becoming more prevalent, and different rights, different things are becoming more available to people that are not legally married, because all 50 states, they do not, it's not all where you are legally married or opt to be. So you can get on someone's health insurance even if you're not married to them, because you can get on their health insurance as a domestic partner. All you have to do for a lot of insurance companies is to prove that you actually live with your significant other, may they be the same sex or opposite sex, even though you're not legally married to them. So you can get on that person's health insurance and they can carry a family package, family benefits package with dental and health insurance, as if you were married as a domestic partner. So you just have to go through the measures. A lot of them want you to verify through a lease or a mortgage or utilities or mail to make sure that both parties live within that household. So you can get the health aspect. Now, after their death, what could she have done differently is what a lot of people are asking. They could have set up a trust, And a trust is very important when you've got a lot of assets, or you may be coming into a lot of assets that would be a part of a business transaction, such as DMX, having royalties and different rights. If he had a trust set up and she was a beneficiary as a part of that trust, she could have been the successor of his trust, but it would spell out what she would have gotten, and that would even have put her in a better position than even being in a will. Because the downside to, and I'm not giving legal advice here, I'm just giving you some facts about different things on, and this goes back to estate planning, that depending on what state you're in, a lot of times the will is not going to come into effect until after their estate has been probated. And to go through probate, that's when the creditors can come if they owe credit cards, if they have bill collectors, medical bills, and then the will comes into place to disperse whatever assets are left after all of these people have made claims to the estate. Well, if you have a trust allows you to bypass probate. So then guess what? Those creditors, those debtors, they are over there to the side, because guess what? You can say, put it on DMX credit. He never going to use his credit again. But if she had all his business stuff set up in a trust, then she could, and if she was one of the beneficiaries to that trust, then she still would have had all the rights of his wife. No, she may not have been able to collect his Social Security, but as far as his royalties and different things like that, if it was set up in a separate entity, or if she was a business partner of his, then she could have put herself in a better financial situation and not relying on the common law title in order to seek benefits from her time with him. So, and then a lot of people are talking about her, but a lot of people spending time with people that they don't even have anything to go to court to even get denied to be a common law wife. So different strokes for different folks. Hey, Wayne. But I did want to jump on here and let you know that this should bring your attention to final estate planning, and you may want somebody to look at your assets, and you may want to look into the option of getting a trust versus a will. So you need to check that out. I'm going to give you another good example of a person who really had their stuff together. And when they say you're speaking from the grave, Whitney Houston did that. Her stuff was set up awesome, where her daughter, it went to the trust. Her sister-in-law, Pat, was over her trust, but her daughter was allotted so much money at each period of her life. So that way, if she spent up funds, and that's why she didn't really have a lot to disperse to Nick Gordon, because she hadn't been entitled to everything at one time. So a lot of people will set up a trust, and then they'll have the trust to pay out over a period of time. So, and that could be the rest of that person's life. So like Whitney Houston's daughter, Bobby Christina, she got paid when she was 21. Then she was going to get another one when she's 25. Then they had another time set up when she was in her 30s. I don't quite remember the timeline on that, but it also limit what she had access to. So by her marrying Nick Gordon, she only had so much in assets, and it didn't just give all her everything that her mother had worked for away. So be careful in planning your estate, and be careful, be mindful that there's other ways to skin a cat, and to make sure that you got your ducks in a row if you find yourself in a situation like this. Best way to go. Okay. So, check out both options. A trust may be a little bit more expensive to set up than a will, but you will have the choice of doing that. And if you're protecting your assets, or you're protecting yourself in order to inherit some assets from someone that you may have been with 10, 20, 30 years, because it's not uncommon for people not to marry. Again, this is not about biblical principles. This is about assets and a business relationship and handling business matters as it pertains to a loved one's assets in the time of their final rites. So be mindful of that. And again, like and share this video. You don't know who might be living with somebody and they need it to know this information, to know that they can get health insurance by being a domestic partner, and that they can go the route of the trust, and the trust will speak for the dead. And even if that person has children, depending on how that trust is set up, the children don't have to get anything. So just be mindful of all of that when you're listening and seeing different things in the news. Always look for stuff from multiple perspectives and not with tunnel vision.